Rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here today. Will Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Lorenzen.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Zuber. Bruner.
Here.
Farnham.
Here.
Heltzler.
Here.
Voigt.
Present. Okay, the first, number 4, minutes from the October 14th, 2015 regular meeting. I assume you've had a chance to look at that. Do we have any motions to approve those minutes, please?
So moved.
Derek Lorenzen moves.
Second.
Mr. Bruner seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It does carry. Okay, claims for the county. Do we have any questions on claims for the county? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims for the county.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Helsley moves. Mr. Patrick seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims for board members. We have had a special request, and our clerk has researched what we need to do. We have been asked to recite the claims to be approved. $509.15 for meeting and travel for Alan Zuber. $403.50 for meeting and travel for myself, Jeff Voigt. $275 for meetings and travel only for Mr. Patrick. $250 for meeting and travel for Derek Lorenzen. $205 for meeting and travel for Mike Helsley. $240 for meeting and travel for Carl Farnham. And lastly, $310 for meeting and travel for Mr. Bruner. Do I have a motion to approve those bills? Claims for the
Yes.
county board.
I have a question. Mine's that much?
That's what you filled out last time.
I don't take travel.
Well,
Mileage.
I'm talking in general terms, what they're for.
Purchase your $25.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
all right. That's the category. There's nothing else being paid in those items, okay? So we do have a motion from Andy Patrick. Do we have a second?
Second.
Derek Lorenzen seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They are passed. Okay, we've come to public comment. Public comment, please.
I'm sure you've all missed me. But anyway, my 3 minutes, I better get to it. Just in what you mentioned, is there any way we can get, because it comes to over $2,000, is there any way at some point you could tell us what we got out of that 2,000? What come of these meetings and travel? I just would like for you to entertain that idea. I'll have to say, I am Carolyn Mason Wilson, resident of Paris and half owner of a business here, but most of my working life has been in Terre Haute, Indiana. But I have been a supervisor, so I know what goes on in the business world. And the latest thing that came to my attention was about this insurance. I would like to know, most of you board members are also a working person. So you're Mr. Lorenzen, I have not met you. Could you tell me what your job is, who you're employed by?
Ma'am, this is for public comment. This isn't a back and forth.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, I mean,
Okay.
that's
Well-
what this is designed for.
Okay. Maybe there should be a difference in how this is designed, but letting that go. I know most of you here have employers. And I would like to know, and you are working on this for me, are you not, Augie?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Just about have it finished.
I would think in most of the businesses you are employed with, that you are offered insurance coverage there. And for you and probably for spouses. So I guess I can't ask any questions of them? Is that right?
You can ask questions and then later, I mean, the individual board members can respond to you
Okay.
after the meeting.
But I am assuming everyone here is a working person, and they probably have coverage through their employer. I see some head shaking, and I know that is also true, that there may be a few of you that don't. But I would like to know, and I would like to talk to you personally, and Augie is trying to find out. Through most employers, you have the option of course, your own insurance, but those of a spouse. So I was just wondering if any of you through the county insurance, which I didn't know we even covered, and I'll just be honest with you, up until about the last 5 years, I didn't know you even got paid to be in this position. And I'm not knocking that, but there's a lot of people that think that till things have come out talking about salaries and so forth. So that's a good thing. But I would just like to know what I stated about the insurance, or if any of you have insurance here and through an employer, or if you are covering for a spouse when they could be covered by their own insurance, which we as the taxpayers are paying for this insurance. So I think we have a right to know that. Any questions from me? For me?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Good morning, John Kraft. I'll talk about the insurance just a little bit. I didn't hear any mention of payments for Medicaid reimbursement. I didn't hear any mention for the annual opt-out payments.
There were none.
Or is anybody still getting their insurance paid? Are you getting your insurance paid? I'll find out later if you don't want to answer me. It's not hard to figure out. Note on the insurance, I wish you would stop your insurance. You know it's the right thing to do if you're not authorized to have it. I got a copy of a letter, written to Mr. King Sutton, dealing with the Central Illinois Mass Transit District. That still hasn't been completely dissolved, apparently. There's still some loose ends hanging out there. I just want to remind everybody that even though the old mass transit tries to make everybody think it's all grant money, it isn't. The townships will build either monthly or annually on a pro rata basis, and for the number of people within their townships. And most of them wrote checks to the mass transit district. None of them should have wrote the checks, but a lot of them did. So that's tax money from the residents of Edgar County that went to East Central Illinois Mass Transit, and some of us going to rides right now and shouldn't be going. But I sent the person that wrote the letter at IDOT, I believe he said that the remaining money should or must stay in the transportation system and should be in the rides. And I sent him several questions and a FOIA request asking him to clarify what he said and asking him to justify what he said based on state law, because state law doesn't say to do that. State law says to dissolve, sell everything, and give the money back to the counties. There's no option to annex one district into another. It doesn't exist. The law doesn't allow it. So whatever the guy at IDOT wrote is inaccurate, and I'll get to the bottom of it. I should get an answer back here in about 2 more days. But I hope you're gonna stand the line and make sure that money stays in the county where it already is, and also assist Clark County in getting their money, because Rides is holding on to that check. We're working on getting to the bottom of that. And there's also the deal with the real estate that was sold back to Pedco, who turned around and sold it to NAL. You know, that sale from East Central Illinois Mass Transit back to Pedco did not follow the law, which means we need to claw that back. At a minimum, claw the money back that Pedco made when they sold it to NAL. I believe they made about $60,000 instantly. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else, please?
Morning, my name is Robert Bogue. This morning I wanted to talk about doing the right thing, ethics, stuff like that, kind of related to the airport. The other day, a county board member referenced an email that he had sent to me. The second sentence in that email was, "This email letter is directed only at you." Since he read this in public comments, he is referring to the December 6, 2013 Airport Advisory Board meeting that was called, I believe, to address the employment of Jimmy Wells and some of his behavior. 5 board members attended. They went into closed session. They talked about that issue. But they also talked about other board business, and in doing so, made that an illegal meeting. The 5 county board members made that an illegal meeting by their actions. After the meeting, they claimed attendance and travel fees. And that's what the letter was that I received the other day is about, paying back $35. The board member wrote that he had donated a lot of time. I think that's what board members do, but I wouldn't feel badly if there was a legal way to be compensated for that time. But that was the argument the board member made for justifying his $35 that he received for this meeting. I asked that he read my response. I think that's what I'll do, and then I'll be done for this one. I won't tell you his name. Thank you for responding to me. This was never about what good board members do, either on a daily, weekly, or monthly, for the benefit of the county. For me, it's been about getting to the bottom of the abusive, preferential, biased way my son was treated by county board members, ones that have lied and continue to lie, and that have gone unpunished. For me, it's about doing the right thing. It's about integrity and honesty. It's not about sitting silently while other board members continue to play games with people's lives. This is exactly what happened in my son's case. What? You don't recall the board having to mandate that Jimmy Wells accept $5,000 in Rusty's rent? They had refused to accept prior to that date? You don't think this was stressful for the business owner? What about canceling his lease? Not because it required insurance, but because they could. And what about the Inquisition, where board members accused him of not having any insurance? That was fun too. My family and we jumped through hoops trying to appease a tyrant, and as a result, all of Rusty's work on a lease and time he spent was lost and a great cost to him. And of course, because of this county board's inaction, along with that of Mark Isef. And everyone still remains silent to this day. Ask yourself, how is it that the same lease agreement with Mills Aviation was the one early rejected by the county board for my son. This board stole time, goodwill, and effort from my son, made his life miserable, and in the end voted to give Jimmy Wells a letter of commendation. No discipline for Jimmy's actions. Now Jerry Griffin and J.D. Kessler are the latest examples of the absolute stupidity on this board's part, who continues to go on these board meetings, such as refusing to address the obvious issues with Jerry Griffin, or managing the issue in a responsible way by making him your flag bearer, is exasperation beyond definition. Did you also happen to hear the details regarding J.D. Kessler, another plan at the airport especially for someone's benefit? Another coincidence. Fortunately, more and more taxpayers are getting the message. It's my opinion that board members that are going along need to get along somewhere else. They need to resign if their only purpose is to selectively act on issues of interest. You're better than that. You need to stand up against these things that are wrong and fix them, or stand on that record. Anytime you wish to address me in public, that's fine with me. I'm here to talk. Don't hesitate. Thank you once again for communicating with me. The last comment. In closing, please make sure the return of funds via donation is made clear to Augie Griffin, our county clerk, since this matter will likely go much further. Just know, I am so disappointed with the unscrupulous behavior of the entire county board to include the separate issues of health insurance, and I'm not alone. Just do the right thing. That's what you fellas need to do. Jerry Griffin does not belong at your Edgar County Airport. That's the right thing to do. If you attended the meeting... that's
1 minute.
Pardon?
1 minute, please.
If you attended the meeting on December 6th and you claimed payment for that meeting, and by your actions and your closed session actions, you created an illegal meeting as determined by the Illinois Attorney General, then it's easy. Get back to 35 bucks. Look at, we're adults here. Make it simple. It is simple. It is not that hard. Just do the right thing. Don't sit silently while other people do the wrong thing. Speak up. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, we'll move along with the meeting. The next item on the agenda is to authorize Chamber of Commerce to use courthouse lawn for the 2015 Christmas in Paris event. Discussion? Motion?
So moved.
Derek Lorenzen moves. Carl Farnham seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It does carry. Mr. Clerk. The next item is a resolution appointing Thomas Patchett, Commissioner of the Union Drainage District Number 1 of the towns of Embarrass, Kansas, County of Edgar, State of Illinois. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Farnham? We have a second. Mr. Bruner seconds. We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
Carries.
It does carry. It is approved. Resolution appointing William Geyer, Commissioner of the Union Drainage District Number 1, the towns of Embarrass and Kansas, County of Edgar, State of Illinois. Do I have a motion? Carl Farnham, seconded by Mike Helsley. Can we have a roll call, please?
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
5-0.
It does carry. The resolution is approved or adopted. The next resolution is appointing Jason Cheatham, Commissioner of Drainage District Number 4.
You forgot Phil.
I'm sorry. I got my check marks ahead of myself here. Resolution appointing John Fell, Commissioner of Union Drainage District Number 1 of the towns of Embarrass and Kansas, County of Edgar, State of Illinois. Do I have a motion, please? Carl Farnham, Mike Helsley, seconds. We need a roll call vote, please.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnham,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Now we can get on to Jason. A resolution appointing Jason Cheatham, Commissioner, Drainage District Number 4, the town of Prairie, County of Edgar, State of Illinois. Carl makes the motion,
Second.
And Mr. Bruner seconds. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the treasurer to transfer $14,000 from the rabies fund to the county general fund. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Bruner, second, please.
Second.
Andy Patrick. We need a roll call, please.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
It is adopted. Next, we have a resolution authorizing the treasurer to transfer $6,000 from the dog fund to the county general fund. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Bruner moves, and a second.
Second.
Mr. Patrick seconds. We need a roll call, please.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Next, we have a resolution approving the annual budget and appropriation ordinances and the tax levies for fiscal year beginning December 1st, 2015 and ending November 30th, 2016. Once we have approved this today, it will remain on for public view for the next 15 days, 16 days, which is required by law. And then we will again meet and have a resolution adopting said documents. So can I have a motion to adopt the resolution approving,
You said it, go ahead. Excuse me.
adopting the annual budget and appropriation ordinance and tax levies for fiscal period beginning December 1st, 2015 and ending November 30th, 2016?
Excuse me, just a point of clarification. Approval, not adoption.
Did I say adopting?
Yes.
Approving.
Yes.
Approving, gentlemen.
I had a question.
Go for it.
I was looking through this yesterday on the health insurance. Under administration, it's less than this current year. I thought that it was increased. The rates
It
went up.
is, but the way it works out, I took everything that they had and multiplied it out,
Okay,
okay?
all right. I
And
just saw it was
Yeah,
less than what last year's was,
I double checked that,
and there
and,
might be less employees.
right, well, that and we're standardized what we're paying, okay?
Okay.
And so that's, all I can tell you, I'll double check it again.
Instead of the 5 plans, we're just down to 1, right?
No, we have multiple plans. I think there's 4 or 5 plans. But it doesn't matter what plan, each employee is still responsible for anything over
that's what I'm-
456.
They pay the difference.
Right.
Okay.
And the makeup of the plans makes a difference too, on which plans they're taking. Okay?
I'll make that motion.
Carl moves the resolution to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike Helsley seconds. I'll assume you're ready to vote. We need a roll call vote.
Lorenzen,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
5-0.
It is adopted. We do have one highway resolution today to authorize responsible agencies to post roads to 10 tons effective January 5th, 16 through April 5th, 16. So is there a motion to adopt this resolution? Or do you want to explain it at all? It's pretty self-evident. We do it every year.
Do it every year. I'll make a motion.
Mike Helsley moves.
Second.
Chris Patrick, sorry. Andy Patrick seconds. I knew sooner or later I was going to do that. I got it out of the way. Could we have a roll call, please?
Lorenzen. Patrick,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Farnum,
Yes.
Helsley.
Yes.
It is adopted. And there's no net, so. Okay, the next one is to authorize the chairman to sign with a contract with Doherty Parks Management Consulting for the 2015 audit.
So moved.
Do we have a motion?
Bruner.
Okay,
Second.
okay, there's a second, and that amount is not to exceed 37.9, okay? I assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It does carry. Thank you. All right, now we move on to department heads and officers' reports. Donald?
Have your report in front of you. Nothing really jumping off the page at me here. I've put some notes at the bottom. I'll be doing a final distribution next week. It basically is just monies collected from the tax sale that we had on October 29. We had 134 parcels that were unpaid up until that date. They have now been satisfied for the most part. We are 99.88% collected, very comparable to previous years. The state has come through with income tax this month, and the sales tax is going to hit our account probably tomorrow. No, Thursday or Friday. Forgot about the holiday. Once again, it's gonna be around a total of $31,000. Once again, if it would have been today, it would have made this report cash flow look $31,000 better. It's just the timeless of the money. Other than that, they of course have not provided any reimbursements for salaries and things like that. We are still waiting. Make a comment here. It seems like we went through this over the years where the state was very untimely, then they made an improvement, and now we're right back to square one where they can't get their budget determined, so it's putting us back into a cash flow deficiency. I hope next year I don't have to borrow money like we were lucky enough this year, but at this rate, I can see us looking at the same kind of situation we had a few years ago, where in the springtime our cash flow was down. I hope the state gets a budget signed, and they've already said that it's not like they're going to catch up on payments instantly. They're not going to send us 4 or 5 months at once. It's still going to be piecemealed out. So we're still going to get the short end of the stick as it goes on. So I don't mean to be Mr. Gloomy, but it just seems like just as we're getting to a point where the numbers are looking better, it's like they throw a wrench in the works. So I'll get off my soapbox. Any questions?
I have one, Donald.
Yes, Mr. Griffin.
Approximately how much were the proceeds from the tax sale? If you said that
The
wasn't.
total base amount of taxes that were collected, I have that written down here, right around $152,000.
Thank you.
Any further questions of Don at this point? Don, I know you pointed out the fact that the second item, 842, has been corrected.
Yes.
And we've straightened out the pet population control issues, and there's no longer a deficit down there in 840.
Correct.
So those 2 items have been corrected. All right, thanks, Don.
You're welcome.
Aaron?
Not much has changed, Jeff. I know Ken Polke's, I think he's growing beards for a budget or something. I was kind of hoping maybe the county board would consider that better than that. Particularly the committee chairman of. No, not much has changed. Still hoping for a state budget.
Okay.
Get some allotments in.
Any questions of Aaron? Sandy?
I have nothing, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. Jill?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, Monty?
Nothing new to report.
Dina, I think
I
you've
do.
got some stuff.
I'm very excited to say our 2015 assessments are complete. We were able to balance and sign abstracts a full 2 months earlier than 2014 assessments. We are waiting on arrival of our notices. We plan to stuff and have them in the mail next Thursday, the 19th, which will coincide with our publication in the newspaper. And taxpayers will have until December 21st to file complaints.
How much ahead of time is that?
2 full months.
Okay, Thank you, Sandy. Thanks for the efforts of your office. Sorry, Dina. I said Sandy, didn't I?
He needs another cup of coffee, folks.
It's bad when the clerk has to make excuses. Jeff?
I have nothing this time, thank you.
All right. All right, I guess we're ready for county board member
Miss
report.
Shaughnessy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't. I'm sorry, I couldn't see you back there, Nicole.
I really don't have much. We're finishing up a first responder class we're doing for one of our local factories. We just started our very first EMT advanced course last week, so we're well into that. That'll take us through spring when we start on the basic course. And if you all haven't seen any of the information floating around about the AED grant that's through the Luger Center in Terre Haute, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to tell you about it. It's an amazing opportunity for our community to get around 25 AEDs that are about $2,500 a piece free of charge to our community, and then training opportunities along with those. So if you know of anywhere that would benefit from one, I'd love to give you an application to get to them, or I'll get with them directly.
Thank you, Nicole. Augie?
The only thing I would like to say is congratulations and thanks to all of our veterans. Thank you that we can be able to meet and discuss as free people.
Augie, did you want to announce anything about when petitions are due or anything like that?
Sure, be glad to do that. Filing period for the March primary begins on November the 23rd, which is a Monday, and it ends on Monday, November the 30th at 5 o'clock. So that's the petition filing time period. Of course, those get filed in the county clerk's office.
Okay. Thank you, Augie.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Okay, now on to the county board members. Mr. Bruner?
Sort of repeat, animal shelter, I was out there last week and everything's running well. They have some community service people that have to donate so much time, so they've worked out very well. Andrew's very happy with it. The health department, I think I told you the bid for replacing the heating and cooling system. We have one company that bid on it. It was $118,000 just to replace the boiler. Problem is, we have to take the old boiler out, and then we have to get a company to do the asbestos abatement. So it's gonna be a little more than $118,000, so that's what we're working on right now. Meeting next Wednesday morning, so we'll make a decision on how we want to proceed. Probably will not start till next spring. Kind of hard to take a boiler out in the middle of winter time and not have heat, so. So I'll update you when we have our meeting next week, so.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner.
Dan, you said they did test and the test was positive, that there is asbestos present.
They don't know that.
Don't know yet.
But, the company came in and said there probably is, so it's just a precaution best
Sure.
to have it checked.
Andy?
I guess the only thing I've really got to report is the company that did the roofing has got the top part all finished. We agreed to have them come back and put in, fix all the downspouts. They've initially gone through and replaced the pipes, but the downspouts, the elbows and things need replaced, and the one portico on the west side needs to be re-roofed. So the company's gonna come in and finish that this winter, and then the building should be pretty stabilized by that point, the courthouse. That's about it.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, Don?
I'd like to address the Building and Grounds Committee. I mentioned about having a automatic door installed at our annex. I know that Augie, Mr. Griffin has mentioned it, maybe looking into it here. Got a call from Janet Mason at the Health Department. She was looking into it also. I know that hopefully we may have some safety grant money to help take care of this, but I was just mentioned that if we have this many buildings that are looking into it, if we could get if if you're gonna have to do it through a bidding process, maybe might be at a better price if whoever's bidding is getting an opportunity to do 3 instead of individual. I don't know how, and I don't know if, and I'm not stepping on your toes, I don't know if it's something we need to address at all our buildings, meaning highway department also, or anything else. But I just know that all you mentioned it, I mentioned it, and Janet, so there's 3 buildings that have seen a need for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
When's the public safety, when's that come in, that grant?
I don't know, I thought we were supposed to get it in soon.
December 1st, I think, is the deadline.
Okay.
And we discussed it at our department head meeting a month or so ago. I'll put out a reminder.
We did not get any this year within this calendar, or within this fiscal year, though.
We have not received any money in. We know what the dollar amount is, and we have to commit to buying something using that money by December 1st,
Okay.
which we plan to do.
So we have to fill out some paperwork?
It's very simple. With the Illinois Public Risk Fund, we basically tell them what we want, and it's
What's the ballpark figure on the amount?
ballpark figure is $8,000.
You guys need to
Pretty up.
hurry up and get something done. If it's December 1st, I didn't either.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Well, in the past, that money has been used for safety items,
Right.
like cleats to walk on the ice, and Bob, county got a snow blower so maintenance could clear the sidewalks off. And I think one year they bought tasers, sheriff, or I don't know who it bought it for, but it was used for that.
Hopefully it's for the sheriff department.
Well, I think Monty has those available too, and
There you go.
so, as a matter of what we've done, it generally hasn't gone necessarily through the building and grounds totally, but it's there, and I'll be glad to visit with you after the meeting sometime, building and grounds people.
Okay. Anything else on those issues? Mr. Helsley?
Nothing.
Carl? And Derek?
I don't recall if I brought it up in the last county board meeting about issues with the ramp project coming up, just to cover my bases here. Looks like there's some talks that need to be had. Most likely scenario is on this upcoming project that should start bidding in the spring and basic construction, bidding in the winter, construction in the spring on the ramp project. Initially, it was going to be the west ramp extension, the east ramp extension, and the fuel farm. Most likely scenario now, we're still in some talks and some negotiations, but we may have to drop the east ramp, which is the smaller section of that ramp extension. We'll keep you informed on that. And then as a side note, today is the 240th birthday of our Marine Corps, so hoorah.
Hoorah. Okay. Are you gonna reschedule the airport meeting, or we're just gonna wait till next meeting?
I'll have to talk to Joe and the rest of the crew and see what the consensus is, but we definitely have one obviously before the next board meeting. Additionally, a bill was sent to us by Hanson for some of their work done. We're going to work on that and kind of go a little back and forth and find out what we're actually going to pay for that. We'll keep you informed of that as well.
Thank you, Terry. Anything else, board members? We don't need a closed session, do we, gentlemen? Okay. And hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Carl Farnham.
Second.
Mr. Helsley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Off, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, thank you.